Hi, I'm Lisa Faye, and today I'd like to show you a really quick and fun DIY to make this poinsettia covered candy cane shaped wreath decor item for your home this Christmas. This took me about an hour to put together, and it really didn't cost me too much either. The supplies are really readily available, and it was just a lot of fun to make. I'm using this wreath form from the Dollar Tree that I got for $1.25, and I'm using poinsettias from Joann's Fabrics. I bought 6 bunches of white and 6 bunches of red, and each had 6 flowers. I didn't end up using all of the flowers, but it was nice to have a few left over at the end just in case. They're readily available from a lot of different sources this time of year. I just happen to like the ones from Joann's, and they came out to $1.99 per bunch. So I'm stripping all of the flowers off of the stems, and I'm saving the stems to use a little bit later. I thought I was going to use the leaves for this project, but I actually just ended up saving them for another project. I realized that there wasn't going to be a good enough base on the existing frame to glue the poinsettias. You can use regular wire for this, but I decided to use the wire stems that came with the poinsettias because otherwise they were just going to be tossed, and so I figured I might as well use what I have. I'm then just bending them around the form to create a bit more substantial of a form to build my wreath off of. They really were just super easy to attach and wrap around. Just try to get them as tight as possible. This is what it ended up looking like. I made it kind of dense because I really wanted to have a strong foundation which to glue the flowers onto. I started in the bottom corner, and you really just want to have stripes. That is the goal, diagonal stripes that form that classic candy cane pattern. You'll see as I am building this wreath that I did 3 flowers across from left to right or right to left on this wreath, and I alternated colors. So the bottom row was white, red, white, then it was red, white, red. The camera angle is terrible here. It will improve in a minute. Please just bear with me. I did make a mistake here, and I want you to learn from my mistake. And also, the extra wires that I added did help me on this. So when I started building these stripes, I ended up putting the poinsettias way too close together. They were just crammed in there, and it was not working. It just kind of was evident to me that it was not like having them that densely packed was just not working out. It just was not leading to a look that I wanted where you could really see the individual flowers without them looking crunched. It just looked really crunched together, and I was not happy with how the appearance was. It wasn't what I envisioned. I flipped the wreath over, and very carefully I unbent those extra wires that I added, and I was able to remove a row of poinsettias at a time. These came off really easily, and I was able to remove them and then reposition them and just kind of loosen up the overall structure of how the flowers were laying, and that greatly improved the look. You do not want to really crunch these together. You want the flowers to have room to breathe, I guess you could say. So I really just adjusted them and tried to get them so that the flowers were able to open up and have like a full bloom look to them. And it took a little bit of adjusting, wrapping the flowers back around, and it turned out really nicely. Don't worry about if there's any gaps in there. The gaps are totally fine. You won't notice them in the end. And you can always take like a few extra flowers that you might have left over at the end and cut off a few petals and glue individual petals in any empty spaces. I did that in a few of little gap areas at the very end, and it really helped. I should have mentioned this earlier, but when you're applying your hot glue, you want to hold back all of the petals of the flower and then apply the glue in kind of a circular area all the way around the base, the plastic base of the flower. That will really help it adhere where you want to on the frame. And just keep on working and keep on fluffing as you go, and just trying to really get those lines, the lines that you want it to form for the candy cane pattern. I then flipped the candy cane over because I thought it was just easier to work on from this angle. You can just move it around as you're working. It gets a little bit trickier with the stripes when you reach the top, and I was no longer going at a diagonal. I kind of changed and went to just straight across stripes. So 3 whites, then 3 reds, then 3 whites again, and just kind of go with the flow. And if you need to actually cut some of the flowers to fit a little bit tighter in that inner corner, go ahead and do that. Basically, however you need to make this work, just make it work, glue things, it'll turn out fine. And just remember to fluff everything at the end and add in extra petals if you need to. If you need to add in a couple extra petals here and there, that can really help to define the stripes. And yeah, just have fun with it, really. I'm so happy with how this turned out. It's super sparkly. It really is great. I thought about adding in a few extra little leaves around the edges. You can if you want. I decided not to in the end. At the very end, I decided it would finish things off if I put one little red one here at the tip, and so I just kind of glued that right on the end there, kind of smushed it in a little bit, and I really think that that helped to finish off the end, just having a little tiny bit of red there. If you wanted to, you could cover the back of this with like a piece of felt or something, just cut it to the size and shape that you need and hot glue it on there. And that would help to protect your door or your wall or wherever you're hanging this. This is super fun. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye.